At its most basic level, boxing is about hitting and not getting hit. The toll that sloppy defense can take on the body is massive and will often cut careers short. It's no surprise then that to achieve dominance and longevity in this sport, a fighter needs good defense. Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua currently stand atop of the division. Defense has played a big part in their success. These two men currently find themselves on the path to greatness, but in order to secure it, they'll need a win over each other, and one has to assume that defense will play a crucial part in their upcoming fight. The question then becomes who has the better defense. To determine that, we need to first analyze each guy's style. With Tyson Fury, it seems as if nothing comes easy. He's an out-of-control giant that often gets in trouble, either because of the things he says, does, or doesn't do. You get the feeling that if it wasn't for boxing, he'd be selling stolen toasters at the back of a truck. But if there's one thing harder than being Tyson Fury, it's to catch him with a good shot. One of the advantages Fury has is his size. He can either use his great bulk to suffocate and fatigue his opponents, or he can stick and move in a seamless way that no other heavyweight can. It doesn't seem possible, but for a man his size, Fury manages to make himself very hard to hit. When it comes to footwork, Fury will dance around his opponents in order to prevent them from setting their feet. While he's doing this, he likes to turn his body sideways, thus making himself a smaller target. He will also take advantage of his length in order to obstruct views and to keep opponents at bay. If he can't do that, he'll slip shots or weave under them. While he does this, he continues to use his footwork to retreat from his opponents. Notice how he uses his rear foot to create distance before shuffling away. Once an opponent makes it past his reach, we see that Fury continues to keep his hands down but uses upper body movement to evade shots. He also likes to lie on the ropes and uses his shoulders in order to roll with the shots. But his defense has its weaknesses. As mentioned before, when an opponent fires shots at him, Fury likes to dip down, but in doing so, he leaves his watermelon-sized head open. This is highly dangerous in the heavyweight division, where one shot atop the head can discombobulate a fighter. And Anthony Joshua has the heavy hands to do that. Fury also does what tall fighters tend to do when you change levels on them. They drop their hands. This is how he was caught against Cunningham. And although Joshua is taller than Cunningham, he remains shorter than Fury, so a change in levels might do the trick. Although Anthony Joshua gets more credit for his offense, he remains a competent defender. The first difference you'll notice between him and Fury is that Joshua has a more classical style. You'll notice that he keeps his balance forward, whereas Fury likes to stand straighter up or slightly leaning away. In terms of his hand placement, AJ sticks to the conventional style by keeping the lead hand forward while the right stays behind next to his chin, ready to parry jabs or to block hooks. He can also parry crosses by using his left hand. From the outside, he likes to slip shots or to weave under them. He also likes to block or roll with the shots. From these moves, Joshua can counter with vicious power shots of his own. Like Fury, Joshua often enjoys a height and reach advantage, and he too uses his length to keep fighters away. Against shorter men, he likes to step away and to make them miss, displaying solid footwork in the process. He can also use his footwork to dance around opponents or to keep them turning through swift pivots. Although he keeps his hands up, Joshua still exhibits defensive flaws, and these become visible when he begins exchanging with his opponents. Against Dillian Whyte, Joshua became overzealous as he went for the finish and failed to return his right hand to its proper position. The same thing happened in the Ruiz fight. Notice how that shot landed on the temple, which is what can happen to either Fury or Joshua if they're not careful in this fight. The second knockdown in the Ruiz fight was a result of AJ backing up in a straight line with his hands down. The third knockdown came via another shot to the temple, as Ruiz was waiting for Joshua to throw that lead left hook that he likes to launch so much. And the fourth was a combination of a counter shot plus exhaustion. When he was dropped against Klitschko, it was more of a case of devilry from the Ukrainian, who'd been setting his right hand up by hypnotizing AJ with the left hand. At the end of the day, the easy answer is to say that Fury is a superior defender by virtue of the fact that he's never been stopped. And although his upper body movement is also superior to Joshua's, I don't think AJ's defense is inferior by that much. He did manage to keep the quick-handed Joseph Parker at bay, although I must say, he pulled back and barely made a miss, but he still made a miss. I don't know if he'll manage to get away with that though against the taller Fury. In that fight, Joshua better mind his P's and Q's. As for Fury, it would serve him well to keep those hands up and not always dip down as if he were James Toney. So you tell us, does Fury truly have the better defense? Is AJ's more classical stance better suited for a long career? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. Take it easy, folks. Thanks for watching.